All right, welcome everyone. Today we're going to be diving deep into something I think we all struggle with, right? Staying focused.
Absolutely.
Especially like these days, it feels impossible sometimes.
Yeah, it does.
And so we're going to be looking at this YouTube video from the Learn English podcast channel.
Okay.
It's called Why You Can't Focus. Now, I know that sounds like, okay, maybe this is just for, people learning English.
Right.
But honestly, it's got some really great tips and tricks and just kind of an assessment of what's going on in the world today
Mm-hmm.
that's making it so hard to focus.
It's for everyone.
So it is for everyone. Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
And I think it's kind of ironic, right, that we're talking about focus on a podcast episode where, you're supposed to be listening and paying attention.
Yeah.
But, think of this as a way to just kind of like load up on all the knowledge
Right.
and then you can go and put it into practice.
Exactly.
Later on when you're ready to focus on something else.
Yeah, exactly. Giving you the tools so that when you're in that space to do deep work, you can implement them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's jump right in. The video starts out talking about digital overload.
Yeah.
And I think, this is kind of a no-brainer, right? We've all got our phones and we're all getting notifications.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like we're just like wired for distraction.
We are. And think about it. A lot of those apps are designed to keep you
I know.
engaged,
Yes.
even if it's at the cost of your focus.
Yeah, exactly.
So there was actually a University of California study that found it takes an average of 23 minutes to refocus after you get distracted.
Oh, wow.
So think about that throughout your day, how many times you get distracted and how much time that adds up to.
Yeah, how many 23 minutes are there in a day, right?
Exactly.
It's crazy. 1 minute I'm like, I sit down and I'm like, okay, I'm going to be really productive.
Right.
I'm going to finally get to the bottom of this to-do list. And then like the next minute I'm like 3 hours deep into YouTube tutorials on how to make sourdough bread.
No, I relate to that.
Like, how did that happen?
So relatable. But that's the point. You get distracted by these little things and it just chips away at your time.
Yeah.
It chips away at your energy.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, the video talks about how this digital buzz like creates this underlying stress and anxiety, right? It's
Well,
like
yeah.
you're trying to work, but you're in this like noisy room.
That's a great analogy.
Maybe you can handle it for a little while,
Right?
but eventually you're just going to get worn down by it.
Absolutely.
Right.
And that noise, that's what makes it so hard to settle down and focus.
Yes.
Which kind of brings us to this myth of multitasking.
Yes.
We think we can do so many things at once,
Yes.
but is that really, is that efficient?
Right. And the video is really good about kind of debunking this idea of multitasking, that our
Yeah.
brains they're just not built to do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We think we are, but actually we're less efficient when we try to do it all at once.
Yeah.
You end up making more mistakes.
Right.
You end up feeling more stressed.
Yeah.
So as tempting as it is to be like a multitasking superhero,
Right.
focusing on one thing at a time is like really the way to go.
Yeah. It's like trying to like write an email while also like planning a dinner menu
Right.
and having like a deep conversation.
Right.
Like something's going to get lost in the shuffle.
Exactly. And speaking of things that get lost in the shuffle,
Yes.
when we're overstretched and, stressed, the video brings up sleep or the lack thereof.
Oh my gosh. Yes. The lack of sleep.
Yeah.
I am so guilty of this, of like, I'll just do one more thing.
Mhm.
And then suddenly it's like 2 a.m.
Right.
and, let me tell you, like sleep deprived me gets absolutely nothing done.
Yeah.
It's like trying to think through a fog.
Well, there's a reason for that, right? There was a Harvard Medical School study that found that even missing a couple of hours of sleep can decrease your attention span and slow down your reaction time.
It's like trying to like run a marathon on an empty stomach.
Yes.
You might start out strong,
Right.
but you're going to crash hard eventually.
Great analogy.
So yeah, sleep, put that at the top of the list.
Prioritize it.
Yes.
Even if it means setting a regular sleep schedule.
Yeah.
Yes, even on the weekends, I know, boring, but it actually does help regulate your body's natural sleep-wake cycle.
Yeah. That consistency is key.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so get ready for this. The video also links diet and hydration
Yeah.
to focus.
It might seem surprising,
It does. I was surprised by this.
but there's actually like a pretty strong connection. So there are certain foods that can actually boost your brain function, like nuts,
Mhm.
berries, green vegetables.
So like good fuel.
Exactly. It's like,
Premium fuel.
yeah, premium gas versus the cheap stuff.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
And on the flip side, even mild dehydration can affect our attention.
Oh, right.
So there was a study from the University of East London that found that
Really?
so keeping a water bottle handy throughout the day
Okay.
is a really simple but effective way to support your focus.
Okay, I'm going to go grab a glass of water
Right.
right now.
Right.
But another point that the video makes is this idea of having clear goals and priorities. And I think this is so important because it's easy to feel lost and unfocused when you don't know what you're supposed to be focusing on.
Absolutely. Think about it this way. If you were going on a road trip, you wouldn't just start driving aimlessly.
Right.
You would have a destination in mind.
Right.
You'd have a map.
Right.
Maybe even a planned route.
Yeah.
It's the same with our work and our lives.
I like that analogy.
Yeah.
So it's like setting goals is like creating that roadmap.
Exactly.
For your focus.
Right. It helps you stay focused on the path that you've chosen.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I like that. And, those goals don't have to be these huge monumental things.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
In fact, the video suggests setting small, achievable goals.
Right.
Because then you stay motivated and you build momentum.
Yeah, it's like when you get overwhelmed by the big picture, it's so easy to just
yeah,
not do anything.
Right. You get analysis paralysis.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you break things down into smaller steps,
right,
it feels way more manageable.
Yeah.
And it's so much more satisfying to check things off your list.
I know. I love that feeling, checking things off.
Right.
Okay, I did something.
Exactly. And those small wins,
yes,
those moments of progress,
yes,
they can be incredibly motivating.
Yeah.
So it pushes you to keep going.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. Now let's talk about mental overload.
Okay.
Have you ever felt like your mind is a browser?
Oh, yes.
With a million tabs open.
All the time.
All competing for attention.
Yes. It's like this constant juggling act. Yeah. And I end up dropping all the balls.
Yeah. So, the video actually offers a pretty simple solution to that. Write things down.
Okay.
It sounds so basic, but the act of physically writing, whether it's a to-do list, like a brain dump of thoughts, journaling,
yeah,
that can actually bring so much clarity and control to that mental chaos.
So it's like hitting the save button on all those open tabs.
Exactly.
And closing some of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And it's not just a theory. So many successful people swear by this technique.
Really?
Yeah. Richard Branson, for example, he's known for carrying a notebook everywhere he goes to jot down ideas and tasks.
Okay, so it's like getting it out of your head, and then you can see it more objectively.
And you can prioritize it.
Yeah.
And then that ultimately frees up space in your mind.
Right.
To focus on the task at hand.
Okay, yeah, I like that. It's like making a mental filing system.
Exactly.
So you don't have to keep it all up here.
Yeah, you don't have to hold it all in your head at once.
Right, exactly. So you can file it away and then go back to it later when you need it.
Exactly.
I mean, it really is amazing, right? Just the act of writing something down can bring so much relief.
Yeah, totally.
You're finally, all these swirling thoughts have somewhere to land.
Exactly. It's like you're decluttering your mind.
Yeah.
So you can make space for that focused thinking.
Yeah. Okay, so we've been talking about all these different factors that affect focus.
And
it's so interesting how they're all interconnected, right?
Yeah.
It's like this big puzzle.
Absolutely. It's all connected.
Yeah, where you've got digital overload and stress and sleep deprivation and then diet and goals, and it's you can't really address one without thinking about all the others.
It's a holistic picture.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so instead of trying to tackle everything at once.
Right, which can be overwhelming.
Which is, super overwhelming. Let's dive into some specific strategies.
Okay.
For each of these areas. And maybe let's start with taming that digital beast, right?
Okay.
We talked about silencing notifications. What about taking it a step further? Have you ever considered a digital detox?
Ooh, okay. A digital detox sounds a little intense for me. I don't know if I'm ready to go completely off the grid.
Right.
What if I miss something important?
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be that extreme.
Okay.
Even setting aside specific times each day to disconnect can make a huge difference.
Okay.
Think about designating certain areas as device-free zones.
Okay, yeah, like my bedroom should be for sleeping, not for scrolling.
Exactly.
Yes.
Right. So, and just being more mindful in general, about your phone usage throughout the day.
Okay.
Do you really need to have like all those social media apps open all the time,
Right.
tempting you with those little red notification badges?
Yeah, they're very tempting.
Right. So maybe try like moving them off of your home screen, or even,
Oh, okay.
deleting them altogether.
That's a bold move. I don't know if I can handle that.
It's a big step. But if you're not ready to delete them,
Okay.
a lot of phones now have features where you can set time limits
Oh. Okay.
for specific apps. So,
Okay.
if you know that you tend to get sucked into the Instagram vortex,
Yes.
give yourself 15 minutes and then log out.
Okay.
No exceptions.
All right. I like that. So it's like setting boundaries for
Yeah.
yourself, for your time, for your attention.
Taking back control.
Yes. Okay. I like that.
Yeah. Okay, so let's shift gears a little bit and talk about stress management.
Okay.
So we know that stress and anxiety can really derail our focus.
Oh, yeah.
But what are some effective ways that you've found or that, people use to kind of calm those racing thoughts?
Yeah, I am all ears because stress is like a big one for me. And I'm always looking for like new ways to just kind of quiet that inner chatter.
Yeah, absolutely. So the video talks about things like mindfulness practices,
Yeah.
like meditation, deep breathing exercises.
Mm.
Even just a few minutes of focused breathing can help, slow down your heart rate, calm your nervous system.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about meditation,
Mm.
but I'll be honest, I really struggle to like quiet my mind. Do you have any tips like for beginners?
Absolutely. And I think the biggest thing is like don't put too much pressure on yourself
Okay.
to achieve like a perfectly still mind.
Right.
It's more about just noticing your thoughts
Okay.
without judgment
Yeah.
and then gently guiding your attention back to your breath or a chosen focal point.
Okay.
There's also tons of guided meditation apps out there.
Oh, there are. Okay.
Yeah, so you can kind of experiment and see what works best for you.
So it's not about like, being perfect at it. It's just about finding a practice that feels good for you.
Exactly.
Okay.
And just remembering that consistency is key. Even just 5 minutes a day can make a big difference over time.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. Small, manageable steps.
Right.
You know what I've noticed? Have you ever noticed how like exercise
Yes.
can sometimes affect your focus?
Absolutely.
Like for me, if I'm feeling like sluggish or unfocused, I go for like a good run or something.
Yeah.
And it really just kind of like clears my head.
Yeah.
And I feel like I can focus better.
Well, there's a scientific reason for that.
Oh, there is.
Yeah, exercise has tons of cognitive benefits, including improved focus, attention, and memory.
Oh, wow. Okay, so it's like ditch the scrolling, go for a walk.
Right, exactly.
I like
And
it.
it doesn't have to be anything extreme. Even like moderate exercise, like a 30-minute walk a few times a week, can make a noticeable difference.
Okay, so we've talked about taming the digital beast, managing stress, getting enough sleep, getting some exercise.
Right.
Like what other tools do we need in our arsenal here for focus?
Let's revisit the importance of setting clear goals and priorities.
Oh.
But this time, let's add in some like time management techniques.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of the Pomodoro technique?
The Pomodoro technique, that sounds familiar, but I can't quite place it.
Yeah.
What is that?
So it's basically a time management method
Okay.
that uses a timer to break down work into intervals,
Okay.
traditionally 25 minutes in length,
Okay.
separated by short breaks.
Okay.
And the name actually comes from those tomato-shaped kitchen timers.
Oh.
Pomodoro is Italian for tomato.
Oh, okay, that's where I've heard it.
Yeah,
So it's like working in these like focused bursts.
exactly.
Okay.
With these built-in breaks
To recharge.
to recharge. And those breaks are key.
Okay.
It's during those short periods of rest that your brain can actually like consolidate information,
Okay.
make connections,
Mm-hmm.
which then leads to better focus and productivity.
So it's not about like pushing through for hours and hours. It's about
working smarter, not harder.
Okay, I like that. Working smarter, not harder. Yeah. Okay, so the Pomodoro technique.
And the best part is you can apply it to like literally any task,
Okay.
whether it's writing a report, studying for an exam,
Okay.
even tackling that mountain of laundry.
Okay, I like it. I'm going to try it.
Yeah.
Okay. Before we move on, I want to circle back to the writing things down.
Yeah.
You mentioned like Richard Branson's notebook habit,
Yes.
but are there other ways we can use writing to like help us focus?
Absolutely. So one technique that I find really helpful is called morning pages.
Morning pages.
Yeah, it's basically a form of stream of consciousness writing
Okay.
where you just set aside a few minutes each morning
Okay.
And you just write down whatever comes to mind, like no editing, no judgment.
So it's like journaling, but without any like structure or prompts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's a way to just kind of like clear out any mental clutter
Yeah, okay.
that might be blocking your focus and creativity. And you might be surprised by what emerges on the page. You know, sometimes those seemingly random thoughts can lead to breakthroughs
Right.
or insights that you wouldn't have had otherwise.
So it's like giving your brain a chance to like declutter and reboot before you start your day.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I like that. Like a mental spring cleaning, you know? But, it's not just like what's going on inside our heads, right? It's
Right.
also our environment. The
Absolutely.
video talks about that too, like the importance of your surroundings.
Yeah. Have you ever noticed how, like, certain spaces seem to either, like, enhance or hinder your focus? Think about the difference between trying to work at a cluttered desk
Hmm.
versus, like, a clean, organized workspace.
Oh my gosh, I cannot concentrate at all if my surroundings are chaotic. It's like the visual clutter just translates into mental clutter.
Exactly. Our physical environment has a big impact on our ability to focus.
Okay, so what are some things we can do then?
So if you're struggling, take a look around. Like,
Yeah.
is your workspace cluttered? Is there too much noise?
Okay.
Even the lighting can make a difference.
Okay, so what about like specific tweaks then?
Well, decluttering is a great first step.
Okay.
A clean, organized workspace can really help you clear your mind.
Okay, yeah.
And don't underestimate the power of natural light.
Okay.
If possible, position your desk near a window. Studies have shown that exposure to daylight can improve alertness and mood,
Right.
which are both essential for focus.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then, what about noise?
Yeah. Noise is a big one because I know like some people can work in a coffee shop, no problem. And
No.
then other people like need total silence.
Right, it totally varies.
Yeah.
Person to person.
So how do you know like what's right for you?
The key is to figure out what works best for you.
Mhm.
You know, if you need silence, consider like noise-canceling headphones.
Okay.
Or find a quiet space to work. If some background noise helps, try like instrumental music,
Okay.
nature sounds. There are even apps,
Specifically designed to create like focus enhancing soundscapes.
so you can make your own little focus soundtracks.
Exactly.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you mentioned lighting before.
Yeah.
What about the best type of lighting for focus?
So bright, cool white light, similar to daylight,
Okay.
is generally best for tasks that require alertness and focus.
Okay.
It helps suppress melatonin production,
Okay.
which makes us sleepy.
So that's why I feel so tired when I'm trying to work in a dimly lit room.
Exactly.
Okay.
So if you're working on something demanding, make sure you have good lighting.
All right. Got it. Okay. Shifting gears a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's talk about breaks.
Okay.
We talked about the Pomodoro technique,
Right.
but are there other like types of breaks that can help us stay focused?
Absolutely. And it's not just about taking breaks, it's about taking the right kind of breaks.
Well, sure.
Short, frequent breaks are more effective than long, infrequent ones.
Okay, so get up and walk around every 20 minutes or something?
Mm.
Yeah, exactly. And during those breaks, like really disconnect from work.
Okay.
Engage in activities that help you recharge.
So not scrolling through social media?
Probably not, because that just continues that cycle of like digital stimulation.
Right. Okay.
You know, get up, move around, step outside for fresh air, do a quick mindfulness exercise.
Okay.
Even stretching or some deep breathing can make a difference.
So like really step away from the work.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, what about longer breaks, like, lunch breaks or vacations?
Yeah. Those longer breaks are crucial for preventing burnout
Okay.
and letting your brain fully rest and recover.
Okay.
Think of like a muscle.
Yeah.
You know, if you overwork it without giving it time to repair, it'll eventually break down.
Right.
Same with our brains.
Okay.
You know, we need downtime to process information, consolidate memories,
Mm-hmm.
and come back to our work with fresh perspectives.
So taking breaks is actually an investment then
Exactly.
in our long-term focus and productivity.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, all right. Breaks are officially on my to-do list.
Good.
We've talked about it a lot, but I want to touch on one more thing. Mindset.
Mm-hmm.
The video doesn't really talk about this specifically,
Right.
but I feel like it plays a huge role
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
in our ability to concentrate.
It's huge.
Like, if you believe that you're just easily distracted
Right.
or you're just like, not good at
You'd be
focus.
more likely to fulfill that prophecy.
Yeah, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Exactly. And it's not about pretending that distractions don't exist.
Right?
It's about acknowledging them
Mm.
and choosing to redirect your attention.
Okay.
It's about developing that mental discipline to say, okay, I see you, distraction,
Right.
but I'm choosing to focus on this right now.
So it's about taking control of
Yeah.
your attention rather
Yeah.
than letting it control you.
Exactly. It's a skill.
Okay.
And like any skill, it can be developed with practice.
Right.
Just like you can train your body, you can train your mind to be more focused
Yeah.
and resilient to distractions.
I love that. Okay, so wow, this has been an amazing deep dive.
Yes.
We've gone from like, taming our phones
Right.
to like optimizing our environment to the
Yes.
power of mindset.
The whole toolkit.
It really is. It's like a whole new toolkit for like conquering distractions
Yeah.
and achieving that like, laser focus.
Laser focus. I love
So
it.
I hope our listener feels, empowered
Yes.
to put all of these strategies into practice.
Yes, and it's not about becoming like some superhuman focus machine.
Right.
It's about making small,
Right.
sustainable changes that add up
Yes.
to a more focused, productive, and fulfilling life.
Well said. Okay, so as we wrap up,
Mm-hmm.
what is like one final thought you'd like to leave our listener with?
I would challenge them to choose just one strategy we discussed
Okay.
and commit to implementing it for the next week.
Okay.
It could be silencing notifications during work hours,
Okay.
a 5-minute mindfulness break,
Yeah.
decluttering their workspace. Start small, be consistent,
Yes.
and see the difference.
I love that. And I'll add one more challenge. Share your chosen strategy in the comments
Right.
or on social media. Let's create a whole community of focus seekers.
I love it.
Supporting each other.
We're all in this together.
Yes.
And with the right strategies and support,
Yeah.
we can all achieve the focus we need to thrive.
Well said. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive
Thank you.
into focus. Until next time, stay focused.